Welcome back, guys, to Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutors Gambit, where last episode, our fifth turnabout, one for the ages, began with a monstrous murder, with Zhengfa's president found dead in a Taurusaurus footprint. With Shi Long Lang present on the scene, we began an investigation of the lot used in filming a creature feature, noting a horn on the premises, which we now ask about. A fourth statement to be taken. Broken horn. This horn. Do you recognize it? Huh? Oh, that's part of one of the Taurusaurus' horns. It's from a model we use for promotional stuff. Where did you find it? On the ground near the side entrance. That's weird. We keep a replica of Taurusaurus' head up on the roof of the trailer over there. And it's quite large, I assume. Oh yeah, well, not as big as the real thing, obviously, but it's still pretty big. It's just up there. See it? Well, I wasn't allowed to before, but yeah, and it seems to have been got. Right there. That really is big. Wait, I could climb up there? Oh no, you've been blocking the way. Found fallen next to the body, the head's usually kept up on the roof of the trailer, and that's where it was supposed to be yesterday as well. Okay, more logic gained. You won't let me up there, so I could have seen it if you let me squeeze through, but it looks like a logical time is about to take place because we got 4 pieces, which means we can most likely connect some stuff together. So, I guess the most obvious one is... Was he stomped on 3 footprints? Is that the most obvious one? Ah, that's what a failure of logic looks like. There's no logical connection between those two things. Boom. Okay then, so not everything will be connecting here, or things connect to a different thing altogether. Dented fence was fine yesterday, something heavy bumped into it, and meanwhile a big broken horn fell down from where it was. Could these two things be connected after we just did a fail bump in the first place? Both the dent in the fence and the broken horn weren't there yesterday, according to our witness. Which leads me to wonder. Wait, you think that giant Taurusaurus head could have... I do. I think it could well have rolled off the trailer roof and landed in the lot below. Yeah, but that's got to be a lot of force to go from there to there. That's why I didn't try to connect that first of all. It just seems like it would have to be on something and then swung, or... Something would have had to have hit it at high speed to knock it off. Maybe it was him, but then the body wouldn't be that much intact if it was. It seems more than possible, and it also means... Giant head might have fallen from the production trailer's roof. Okay, that makes more sense if the whole hell fell down. That would have provided the weight, and probably provided a bit of the distance too. So was he stomped on, or did a head land on him? Again, he managed to maintain his form and not be a bit more squishy than he currently is. There's no blood around after all. Is that suspicious? Maybe he came from inside the head. I don't know. This is weird. And that's correct. There's no sign of a murder weapon anywhere. Oh yeah, there isn't. Now, this is still only a possibility. But if the Taurusaurus head somehow fell from the roof up there... Yeah, that could kill somebody for sure. Miss Nichols, would you mind if we took a look up on the roof of the trailer? You want to go up there? Sure, I don't see why not. Knock yourselves out. Oh, but don't do that literally. The steps could be kind of slippy. I love the fact that we weren't allowed to link the footsteps and him being crushed. Isn't like, no, that's out of the realm of possibility. Yeah, well, nothing really seemed that great together. Alright, I'm done here. I've found out what I need to know for now. And what might that be, I wonder? Move, old man. What did you say to me? You need to learn some manners, kid. No, you need to learn when you're in the way. Quit whining and get out of here. What the? I'm so sorry about him. Shaun, apologize to the nice man. Ugh. Come on, Shaun, you know you can't speak to people like that. Whatever. Who the heck was he? A policeman, that's who. Why would you antagonize him like that? I thought there was going to be trouble for a second there. I don't think I've ever seen anybody stand up to Agent Lang like that. Oh, let me introduce you all. Everybody, this is Shaun Fenn. He's the star of the movie we're making. The star? This little boy. Hi there, I'm Kate Faraday. It's great to meet you. Shaun, this is Miles Edgeworth. He's a prosecutor. A prosecutor? That's right, and a pretty famous one at that. If he's a prosecutor, where's his badge? Ugh, he certainly doesn't pull any punches. Oh, you, might not want to get too close, Shaun. She's right, he's no sight for a child. But he's involved in all this, nonetheless. I'll need to speak with him. Okay, I gotta speak with you and examine the top. I'll speak with you first. Going well. It was Shaun, wasn't it? Do you mind if I ask you some questions? Are you really a prosecutor? You just look like an old guy to me. I am. Old guy. Charmed, I'm sure. Badge first, then we talk. I don't have my badge right now. And how do you expect people to believe you're a prosecutor? Ah! Phew, he's not the friendliest, huh? You want me to try talking to him? Why not? I doubt it can hurt. I never was good with children. So you're an actor, right, Shaun? Yeah, so what? That's amazing! You're so cool! It's not that big of a deal. Kay's approach seems to be having an effect. So, those horns of yours. Yeah? What about them? Oh, those? The makeup department made them. The character he plays has a special psychic link with Taurusaurus. And the horns allow him to communicate with his giant friend. Isn't that right, Shaun? Just shut up, will you? They don't need to know all that stuff. Oh, sorry. Well, the power dynamic here seems pretty obvious. Still, that's kind of amazing, huh? The lead character in a movie. While you're still in elementary school. That's crazy. Oh. Oh, you undersized? Trying to drink milk for the calcium? Shaun's actually 13. He just looks a little younger. Your growth spurt might come. What? But look at him. He's so little and cute. And the backpack, I just thought... Yeah, puberty hits everyone differently. Backpack's part of his costume. He's playing a role, remember? Yeah, I guess he is, huh? But he is kind of small, you have to admit. Oh, we try not to talk about that too much in front of him. I said stop telling people stuff they don't need to know! I'm sorry. So it's all part of the role, except for the carton of milk, maybe. The dead guy. That's the president, right? Yeah, you knew him. A little. I met him once. He's meeting with presidents now. He's pretty famous then. Yeah, guy was a real piece of work. Hey, you can't say that. It's not nice. What was so bad about him anyway? Don't want to talk about it? Fine, I guess. President Wang was working with us on the movie. Working with you? How exactly? He had a part, just a cameo, nothing big. So we came to look around the set one time. That would have been when Shaun met him. Why put the president in your movie? We heard he was a huge fan of the original Taurusaurus. So the studio offered him a little role. They figured it would be good PR. Last thing I need is amateurs on my set. I told you before, Shaun, you can't talk about people like that. And I told you to shut your mouth. I guess he's none too thrilled about the idea of performing alongside non-professionals. Oh, here. What's this? Oh, wait, from yesterday? A photograph. Yeah, I just got them printed. You can keep it if you want. Wow, it's such a great picture! And you brought it specially for me? That's so kind, thank you. No, I happen to have a spare. That's all. I hope you don't mind me asking, but can we take a look too? Oh, sure. Here. So there was no footprint yesterday. So it was taken yesterday. No footprints and certainly no body. Photo taken yesterday. No monster footprints and no body were visible at that point. Okay. So we're not continuing review for now. So I guess I'll just head on up. Film kid there. I'm going to take pictures of him, Lotta. Actually, would you mind coming up there with us? Oh, sure. After you. So this is the mighty Taurusaurus. What a face. Huh? He looks different from before. Yeah, he's way cooler on the flyer. What's with the weird nose ring on this model? Oh, I forgot. You two aren't Taurusaurus fans. This is the original Taurusaurus design from 12 years back. Huh? So, what's the one on the flyer? That's the all-new Taurusaurus. They gave him a makeover especially for the movie. He looks so much more contemporary now, don't you think? A makeover? He's totally different. This one's... it's just... a cow. Well, he is just a cow. Or at least he was originally based on a cow. He's a monstrosity. A moonstrosity? No, actually, you were saying a... oh... never mind. You got me now. A monstrosity. Yeah, the cow, man's best friend, reimagines a terrifying monster. Cow is man's best friend? It totally makes you think about our whole relationship with nature, right? That was the original concept. I think the concept might be a little lost on me. Me too, I'm afraid. I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. I mean, obviously the broke bit is something that brings my attention. Yeah, I think I could probably throw that little baby over my shoulder and carry it out of here. What, the light? What are you examining now? You're not thinking of stealing it, are you, Kay? No, I was thinking I could just carry it around with me. Then every time you shout objection, I can light you up with it and make you look super cool. You were thinking about the light. Yeah, I can picture it now. You look amazing. Well, do I get the job? When do I start? Hopefully never. Getting blinded all the time. It's a wooden table, sadly collapsed. Parts of it are badly scorched. That's weird. The head should be on that table. But the legs are broken. Guess Taurusaurus isn't going back on there now. The scorch marks look particularly bad where the legs snapped off. I think there might have been a fire up here. Do you think that's what happened to the legs? Yes, and when the fire had burned through the legs, the table would have collapsed, and the head would have fallen down onto the ground below. You're right, the fire caused the head to fall. Indeed, and I also happen to have an idea about how the fire may have started. Those cans of paint thinner by the heater are pretty flammable. Not a great place to keep them. You're right. I'm sorry, I'll make sure somebody moves them. But the stove didn't get used yesterday, not while I was here anyway. Which makes the question of what could have started the fire all the more interesting. These look like cans of paint thinner. I guess they were being used by the prop department. Look at the ground around them, Mr. Edgeworth. It's all burned. Indeed, as if the blue sheet underneath and the nearby newspaper and the outside of the cans. Wait, do you think the Taurusaurus head can breathe fire? Nah, this old guy doesn't look like the fire-breathing type. That's not even possible, let alone likely. Still, the fire was started somehow. We usually put the heaters next to the paint thinner. There's a heater here. Do you think it's to keep the crew warm or something? I would imagine so. It's spring now, but the evenings can be pretty chilly. It really gets in your bones. Ah, come on, Mr. Edgeworth. You can't start talking like an old fogey. You already look like one. You have to talk young and bright and happy. You may not have noticed, Kay, but that's not exactly my style. Now, the sheet itself isn't anything interesting. Yes, we usually keep the heater next to the papers that can catch fire next to the sheet. It's all a bit of a health and safety nightmare on this set, cutting corners. The model was made for promotional events, stuff like that, so people would remember the old Taurusaurus and realize this was a reboot. Yeah, he does look different. People might not get it otherwise. And just as we thought, his horn is broken. So the model really is what killed the president? I think it's a distinct possibility, but there's one thing I don't quite understand. What's that? It's Nichols, and the model looks very heavy. How do you move it around? Oh, it comes apart. If you know the trick, it's not so hard. But I guess if you didn't, you might struggle to figure it out. If you happen not to be a member of the cast or crew, for example. Once it's in pieces, could one person move it? Oh yeah, even I could. Maybe not very fast, but I could. Yes, the fact that it's fallen, but it's back up there in the morning before the body was found, it's very suspicious. I'm sure I remember that face from somewhere. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I know this cow. Funny, I was just thinking the exact same thing. We know it from the president's plane, of course. And from the auction. So President Wang's plushie was a soft toy version of the original Taurusaurus. Can this really be just a coincidence? Belonged to President Wang, it can record and play back sound. The Taurusaurus plushie is being jotted back down in my organizer. And that completes our investigation and gets my logic fail back. Alright, I think that just about wraps up our preliminary investigations. So he was killed by... Yes, by a falling Taurusaurus head. At least that seems the most likely explanation for now. Came down right on top of him, huh? Huh? Well, they took their time. Here they are. Police, bodyguards, the whole gang. Mr. President! It's a little late for that, don't you think? Curses! Who did this? The Baldy men. They did nothing to save him. Whoever it was made a big mistake. But I promise you this. They'll pay. I'm on their trail already. What? What do you mean? Our president may have been murdered, but that doesn't mean that extraterritoriality applies. The local police have jurisdiction. Luckily, I know the right people to talk to. And I just got myself seconded to the case. Lowly one-man outfit or not, I'll be working this one. It sounds like you already have an idea of where you'd like to focus your inquiries. More than that, I've already caught scent of my prey. Take a look at this. It's a printout from a security camera on the viewing platform at the top of the big building. That's... It's pointed at the elevator that leads onto the roof, so it records everybody who goes up there. And in this particular case, it recorded the president and his murderer, clear as day. What was Judge Gavèlle doing there? He's saying he suspects her of the murder. What are you saying? He pushed it... Again, there's a lot... There's not enough jam for it pushing off of a building. Mr. Edgeworth, I entrust my offering to the goddess to you, so that you may use it to call her final judgment unto Excelsius winner. But murder goes against everything she believes in. Shows President Wang and Judge Gavèlle in front of the elevator on the roof of the big building. Agent Lang, perhaps you could explain your thinking on the matter a little further. Not so fast! Not so fast! I'm not part of this case. I heard a little rumor while I was over at the big building. It was about you, Edgeworth. You're not a prosecutor anymore, are you? Which means you don't have jurisdiction here. But you want to cross-examine me while I explain my thinking? Why would I agree to that? Curses! Hey, don't be like that. You were the one who was just talking about being a lonely one-man outfit. You know what? Maybe it should be you explaining your thinking to me. How come, even though you're not a prosecutor, you're still sticking your nose into this case? It's a valid question. Why am I still here? Perhaps I can clarify that with a question of my own. Agent Lang, why are you so desperate to catch the person who murdered President Wang? Because above all else, you're an investigator, correct? I'm desperate to catch a certain somebody myself. A person who orchestrated a murder at the big building yesterday. A person who put Kay's freedom in jeopardy. Who put her in grave danger. That person is out there somewhere right now, lurking in the shadows, laughing. And until I uncover the truth and make that person pay, it doesn't matter if I'm a prosecutor anymore. I'll keep fighting. Find the truth, and don't give up until you do. That's a rule I live by. You may have the look of a smart guy, but you're a fool just like the rest of us. A fool? How dare you? That was just what I needed to hear. Fine. You're in. I've lost my minions, and you've lost your fancy title. But it seems neither of us is prepared to give up on this investigation. Now, seeing as we're both so stubborn, how about we go head-to-head and thrash out the details? I'd be honored. But be warned, I won't be going easy on you. I have an assassin to catch. And not even you're gonna get in the way of that. Of course, I would expect no less. Let me show you the truth I tore from this case with my bare fangs. Why I suspect Gavèlle. Alright, so this judge friend of yours met the president up on the roof. And then she pushed him, and he landed right here. This all happened the night before last. The people had all been cleared from the viewing platform, so it was just the two of them up there. And that pretty much sums it up. No doubt about it. She killed the president. They were there completely alone. No bodyguards. None. I checked. The security detail had no idea he even went up there. He must have gone in secret. Maybe it was a conversation they didn't want anybody to hear. But what kind of conversation? How were the two of them even connected? Seems the president spoke to the owner of the building ahead of time. He had him set aside the viewing platform just for the two of them. And it was the president asking. I guess the guy wasn't about to refuse. So the last person to see the president alive really could have been... Yep. Gavèlle. Did you say her name was? Her. His argument certainly isn't completely without merit. But I notice at least one glaring hole in his reasoning. That's where I'll need to focus my counterattack. Where? Alright, so this judge friend of yours met the president up on the roof, correct? Hold it! I mean, I can't deny that, considering we've got a picture. Okay, I am denying that. How can you say for certain the two really met? So the plan is to come and swing in, huh? I've seen worse approaches. Dominate the battlefield, counter your opponent's every move. It's a tried and tested strategy. And not what I was intending at all. But this battle has barely even begun, Mr. Prosecutor, so shut up and buckle up. And then she pushed him, and he landed right here. This all happened the night before last. Again, I would counter not enough jam or grape juice, whatever analogy you want to use. Hold it! The night before last? How could you be so sure of that? Ha! If you're not sure, take another look. Take as many as you need. This picture is from the camera up on the viewing platform. Like I said. What's the time on this? Yesterday then? Was that 2 days ago? What day was it today? Do I have anything that says this? No. I thought we were on the 6th. But now I'm not sure. What day are we on? But this is 4/4. And the camera doesn't lie. That's from 2 nights ago. Okay, thanks for clarifying.
Objection!
You have a picture of them both entering the rooftop area. But nothing from after that point, I assume. We've just literally looked at the evidence as well. We need to counter this. No, there's only one camera and it's pointed at the elevator. Can't see the viewing platform itself. Still, this is when the murder happened. I'm sure of it. If the president really was killed 2 nights ago, then his body would have been here in the lot this whole time. Taking a little moment there, Mr. Prosecutor. Well, save it. I'm not done explaining. Not even close. I'll press, but we've already done. The people had all been cleared from the viewing platform, so it was just the 2 of them up there.
Hold it!
It's entirely possible somebody else was up there, surely. Yeah, what about the cotton candy stand? The owner of the building received a request from the president himself to clear the area. He knew there'd be serious trouble if he messed up, so he went to work as quick as he could. They cleared everybody out, and I mean everybody, including your stupid cotton candy seller. Stupid? That's mean. Still, it wasn't enough. If it had been, the president wouldn't be lying there now. And that pretty much summed it up. No doubt about it, she killed the president.
Hold it!
I have many doubts. And literally I can prove it. No doubt about it. Are you certain of that? Of course I am. The place, the time, everything points to the woman in the picture. The place and the time. Interesting. Agent Lang seems to believe that the president wound up in a certain place at a certain time, and yet... Yes, I think I'm starting to see the problem here. There's at least one major point he's overlooking. That's where I'll need to focus my counterattack. Alright, so this judge friend of yours is not interested. She didn't do it. Or at least she didn't do it at the time, you said. So time for you to pivot.
Objection!
Time for you to pivot. Shi Long Lang, former star agent of Interpol. How the mighty have fallen. What? Take a look at this picture. It's a behind-the-scenes shot of some of the cast and crew. Look at those smiles. Well, maybe not Shaun's, but you know what I mean. And it was taken only yesterday. What? If Judge Gavèlle really did kill President Wang the night before last, the body would have been clearly visible in the background of this picture. What? Perhaps you should have taken a little more time to speak with those involved. After all, thorough witness interviews form the basis of any good investigation, as you should know. Don't think I've ever seen you so happy, Mr. Edgeworth. You really do love backing your opponent into a corner, huh? Ha, fine, you got me. Must say it's been a while. I almost missed it. Perhaps if you try to stay a little calmer while conducting your investigations in future. Don't push your luck, Edgeworth. Lang Zi says, the righteous anger of a wolf lasts 100 years. I won't be calmed down anytime soon, not until we've caught the president's killer. I want the same thing. We all do. Nonetheless, the body appeared last night. You have to accept that now. And there's one other thing you'll need to accept. The president didn't die from a fall. That's right. He was crushed by the falling head of a giant monster. Okay, that sounds more ridiculous, but still. The incident occurred here on the movie set, not at the top of the big building.
Not so fast!
Says you, but that's just your theory. I'm not about to give up my own because of it. But it literally can't have happened the night before last. We just proved that with this picture. Did you? What if? What if your friend Gavèlle pushed the president off of the big building the night before last, and then came down here to the movie set and hid the body somewhere? Here? But where? There's all kinds of stuff down here. Costumes, equipment, you could hide it anywhere, maybe in the thing. And then come back a day later, last night in other words, take it out again. We just need to check the lot for trace evidence. We'll soon find where she put it.
Objection!
There won't be any need for that. What? This piece of evidence proves that Judge Gavèlle can't have hidden the body. Because it was locked. Simple.
Take that!
Both entrances to this lot were locked, and we already know that the chain on the side gate was cut only last night. Judge Gavèlle had no way of getting in here to hide the body the night before last. But the murder has to have happened 2 nights ago. Why are you so set on believing that? Because, if you remember, that picture was a printout from a video, and there was more. Ooh. More information. Why do you still suspect Gavèlle, despite the fact that we've put a whole hole in the middle of these 2 dates? I guess we will find that out next time on Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutors Gambit. I'll see you then for more. And until then, I say, bye-bye.